you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves? Let's hear from the woofs.
Yeah. Hello, friends. The Wolf's here. No camera this time, but I have returned for one final run. Excited about this one. I think Chapter 3 is the best of all the chapters, to speedrun at least.
It has
Hard.
plenty of Morgan, so that gets the approval in my book. Let's hear from Archie.
Archie here, or Archmagus on the right side. Also excited for Chapter 3, also the best one.
I'm glad we're in agreement there. It's a good one.
And it will be a good one. Hopefully we get a good race. All right. Are our racers ready? Any last business to take care of?
I think I'm
Good to
good.
go.
Yeah,
Think we're good? Okay. You want me to go ahead and count you in?
please
You
do.
do that.
Okay, I'll give you a 3, 2, 1, go. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, baby, here we go. Okay, so, yeah, this is Tales Chapter 3. It's a 5-chapter series. We're joining Guybrush looking for La Esponja Grande, which is supposed to fix the pox of LeChuck, which has overtaken the Caribbean. And we are here with this guy Decava, who has made it his life's work to find this thing. Turns out he's an insane person as well, so we kind of have to play both sides here. But yeah, so Archie and I are going to try to get through that conversation quick. And our kind of ultimate goal here is to befriend everybody inside this, this giant manatee that's eaten us at the end of Chapter 2. So we're going to do a little bit of this and that, collect things as you do in adventure games. And we're going to do a little first aid with Morgan. Spade mentioned Morgan. It's a new character to the Monkey Island series. A great character, in my opinion. But she's knocked out at the moment, so we're going to try to resuscitate her here. And then we're also going to go down to the lower kind of area of the Leviathan. Or the Manatee, excuse me. As there's some folks down there, and we'll get into that as we go.
What we're actually doing here is Decava, the insane man, is the voodoo lady's boyfriend, as I recall. And we are trying to convince him that we are married to Morgan.
That's right, yeah, because he, we basically say we're on vacation inside the manatee here, and apparently that's good enough for him. I actually forgot to do this. Somebody mentioned that the floor looks like SpaghettiOs, and now I can't unsee that. That's a great comment. So there's a couple different ways to get... yeah. There's a couple of different ways to get through this. We're going to go what we consider to be the fast way. And that is trying to befriend the people below deck. We can actually go ahead and collect, like, I think it's like, what is it, 1,000 of these little maggot things that are crawling around on the floor, and you can actually craft a cochlea. So, yeah, to be more specific, we're trying to build a cochlea so that we can get swam over to the Esponja Grande. Oh, I got a Jugbender answer. Pour one out for Jugbender.
Rest in peace. But I've spent probably hundreds of hours routing multiple games, and this single section downstairs is probably the most complex of them all. There's a lot of different ways to do things in like a little gauntlet, a very complex route, and it's like infinite routes are possible.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of layers to that onion down there, and the route has changed significantly since I don't know, the initial runs and everything. There's just a lot of people, a lot of things to do, and yeah, as you say, it's the route we're taking right now is very like specific and intricate, and if you, I don't know, if you mess one thing up, you lose a pretty significant amount of time. So we're gonna try to do our best to not do that. Looks like Archie, you're ahead of me here. Trying to get caught up best I can.
I knew those 2 rounds of practice were more than enough.
You might have been right there. We'll see what we can do here. So we're on the lower level now. If you're looking at the left side of the screen, you've probably already seen it on the right side, but we have some new characters literally erupting out like into the manatee from other parts of the manatee. It's quite a system we have down here. But we need to befriend everybody because as soon as we become friends with them and they let us into their little club here, they will give us their prized possession, which is the cochlea they stole from the manatee, and obviously that kind of moves us on to our next part of the project here. So one of the newer things that that's been added in is saying nah to that discussion there with Bug-Eye. That's the guy we're talking to over here now. If you say nah, you just skip a whole bunch of cutscenes that, for whatever reason, I thought you had to say yes for. But Archie, very cleverly, is just like, just say no to the cutscenes. And sure enough, you end up saving something like a minute or something crazy like that. It's like, maybe not a minute, but there's a significant amount of time in the run by doing it that way.
The context is they are kind of a collective of pirates, and they all have to vote yes to allow you in. But even if you skip the actual initial failed vote, you still unlock kind of like the objective of getting the yeses.
Yeah, that's a good point. They were part of the guy's crew upstairs, but they're hiding out from because they just kind of like hanging out here and drinking bile and having a good time. So yeah, we I think Murray got shafted there a little bit on Monkey 4. Casey highlighted that pretty well. He has a triumphant return here on Monkey 5. And here we are. It becomes part of our inventory. We actually pick him up for a bit longer than you do in Curse. And he's got all kinds of funny things he says when you're, when you open your inventory and stuff. It's a nice addition. I think they do him well here, finally. Alright, so the thing I'm going to be doing here, and this is part of this reroute that we were talking about, is we're going to ask these pirates, we're going to say, we're not asking, we're going to exclaim R to them, and that gives us a special face feature that we are going to use against Bug-Eye a bit later to win his favor. While we do that, we're also going to take on little small quests with the rest of these folks to try to get them to like us as well. So for Noogie, we're going to get a date with Morgan. And for Noogie...
That sounds nice.
Well, there you go. And then, yeah, with, what was this guy's name here? This other guy who's just drinking all the time. We're just gonna, just raise a toast. And that's good enough to win us in his book there, which is great. The other thing is that this guy Santino here, which very clearly is a skeleton, not alive. They all believe that he is alive. He's part of the pirate crew. But Santino won't vote for us for whatever reason, probably because he doesn't talk. So we're going to replace Santino with Murray. So Murray is actually part of the crew now, which is pretty good. Gonna go R here real quick. And actually, I forgot one quick thing. I need to get an R from our guy Moose. That's the name, Moose. I always forget Moose's name. I'm having to unlearn some of my Grim Fandango remastered strats here because it's the same but different in a lot of ways. Getting terrible RNG for the glasses. We're just going to abandon that and come back a bit later.
Classic Wally moment.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that maybe stood out to me the most from speedrunning this, is that there are a ton of similarities to the other games in here without it even knowing it. But that is the Wally RNG that we that you may know from Monkey Island 2. Very similar there. We're waiting for glasses to get dropped out from the Kava there. What else? I need to do this and check for weapons. I hope I did that right. So it looks like around the same spot here. We've just sent Morgan on a recon mission, we told her, but we told Noogie that it was a date. And yeah, so if it went well, which hopefully it did, and it looks like mine went well here, that helps us a ton here. So we've won his vote. Moose is on our side as well. So now it's time to start working on Murray. So Murray just wants to see us in pain. So we're gonna kind of help him out a little bit here. We're also going to get Dakava this pool of bile here, which is sort of another kind of side quest that we're kind of doing. It's going to get us a face attribute, which we'll use against Bug-Eye. We'd also just grabbed one off of the ship here. But the bile is actually pretty handy. So we get this picture here from the bile. We're also going to use bile on the odd protuberance, which unclogs the tube here. And I'm going to just scoot on through here. The Iron Monkey. And this is for Murray specifically. So there's a book in here called Modern Torture Made Easy. So we're actually going to take this opportunity to swap this cover with another book here. And we got basically a kind of manual to their little pirate collective here. So we're going to kind of just say that everything in the Modern Torture, the contents of that, are actually part of, I guess, like the club ledger here. And so because Murray's like, oh, you'll be in pain as you join this, yeah, I'll vote you in, kind of a deal. So that's how we win Murray's vote.
In fact, if you don't show him it, he will tell you he'll vote for you and then say no, just to annoy you.
That's right. Yeah, he kind of gives you a fake answer there. I forgot about that. It's always a tough one when you're playing casual. You're like, I got him. Of course Murray will vote for me. Alright, so, yeah, we still need these
Minimalistic
glasses on my side. Got them. So basically they get picked up, set down, picked up, set down. We're going to combine them with this sort of glass thing here that we picked up from an earlier chapter. And then we're going to serve Dakava the bile. So Dakava strictly does not drink the bile downstairs. It's no bueno. And it makes him do that crazy face. But when he has the monocle thing on, everything looks red to him, and he does drink the red bile, because that's a thing. So that's how we get that face there. And I really do hope that I've spoken to everybody. We're going to find out here soon. So we are going to ask to do a face-off here. And Archie came up with this brilliant kind of pattern here. The RNG in this particular chapter is very interesting. So I'm going to do answers 3, 1, and 2, and it will always move us to the next round. And then if you do that one correctly, you'll also just be able to do 4, 4, and 4. This is how we kind of remember them. If you mess the first one up or mess the second one up or whatever it is, it suddenly becomes random RNG, and you have to start thinking about stuff. And the less we can think during a speed run is better.
Especially because we skipped through everything and we don't know what the faces were anymore.
Yeah, perhaps most importantly, it would be dead right at that point.
Yeah, the main issue is you are not allowed to repeat any face that has been made before.
Yeah, this kind of weird RNG situation that gets introduced is, also happens a little bit later on in this chapter with the manatee dating section, and you didn't hear me wrong there. So at this point, we are both going through our kind of vote-in situations here. So now that everybody has decided to like Guybrush Threepwood, we get added into the club here, and we get our most sought-after cochlea that thankfully kind of acts like a Lego piece, and we just get to pop it right back in. I feel like there's a little bit of surgery that normally needs to go down, some rehab, and
it's even visibly disconnected.
But little did you know, you can just fix somebody's cochlea. Just pop a fresh one in there, and you're good to go. So the reason that this is important, I mentioned that we're looking for Esponja Grande. And we've basically just been swimming around in circles for however long the cochlea has not been in there. Because it has no sense of direction or balance or anything like that. So now with the cochlea in there, we are en route to the manatee mating ground, and that is, I don't know, where Esponja Grande is. So we're going to get right into that. So the other thing to kind of call out here is that Morgan has not exactly been great to us. She sort of captured us in the last chapter, if I recall correctly here, or she at least attacked us to try and capture us, and then of course we were eaten by a giant manatee. But now we're kind of on the same page. We need to both get out of this situation here, so we're kind of teaming up. We're giving her a sword back here, and here we go. The joke here is kind of funny because Morgan just wants to kill everybody as soon as you get down here, and Guybrush is a little smug, and he's kind of like, you need to learn how I do this. We just talk things out and, you know, slowly ruin everybody's day. This is how we do it over here. And we kind of let Morgan have her way, and the crew sort of gets in trouble because, again, it was Dakava's crew initially, so they're going to be tied to the mast here as sort of prisoners since they were mutineers, basically. And Morgan and Guybrush become sort of the new crew here. There's a lot of cool references to the other games in this section as well. And I encourage people to listen to the diving music because it's going to be very reminiscent of the diving tune from Monkey Island 2, which I think is one of the better tracks on there.
Do you know if this game has a 10-minute timer?
I don't actually know. That's a great question. Here's your little tune here.
The timer in question, of course, being the famous Monkey Island one-timer where Guybrush can hold his breath for 10 minutes, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, you can actually die in the first one, as many people probably know. I have not tested it here. And actually, it'd be... I think it was tested in Monkey Island 4, though, and maybe Casey in the chat can keep me honest here. But I think in that diving sequence, when we go under to get into Pegnose Pete's lair, I do believe that there is no 10-minute timer there. But I could be wrong. And I may be making everything up. I'd be a bad commentator here. I could have sworn somebody tested that one. Oh, I see in chat, in Monkey 4 he goes back to the surface. Okay. Well, that's a cheap
It's the
layout.
same thing that happens in Monkey 2 if you wait under the water when diving for the monkey head.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good way to do it. I guess you do the joke once, you don't want to overdo it, but... would be interesting. I don't know. Back to surface. Alright, cool. Today we all learned something here. I don't know what happens here. I would suspect, I guess, the same thing. I don't know how Telltale would have handled it. Right. So, yeah, we're above the surface here. We need to get into the layer of the sponge there. And you may have seen that we tried going in there, but there is a even bigger Leviathan hiding in there. So, we can't get in at the moment. So in the meantime, we're going to try and get some information out of the folks, these mutineer folks here, because we're looking for the tongue of the manatee. This is a device that will allow us to speak manatee, or make manatee noises. But they're giving us the runaround, because obviously we did them dirty there, which is fair. But we need to speedrun this game, so we're going to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can here. That's the end of Murray there. We did cut off his head, so R.I.P. Murray.
Oh no.
All right,
I
so
don't
we're
know
gonna.
if you mentioned it, but the mean face we make at the Noogie is actually we imitate the face of his orphanage matron,
That's
who is
right.
terrified of.
Yeah, that's the puzzle there. Which is a good one. All right, I'm definitely behind you, but but I've just entered the area I think you're in right now, which is the Voodoo Lady area. This run has needed some Voodoo Ladies, so we're gonna get this thing going here now.
There's actually a very interesting puzzle we're doing because we have this set of cards which have an action and a person on them, and you set them in the order of actor, action, and the target. So, for example, we have Guybrush, Curse, the Sanj here, which gives him an atomic wedgie, basically. And you move the cards around into certain configurations to trigger certain actions on certain people.
I think the atomic wedgie is my favorite bit of voice acting from the entirety of Tales of Monkey Island. It's hilarious.
Whoever does the Singe, and I always forget the actor here, but does an awesome job, and it's highlighted even better in the speed runs because we're kind of ripping through all the dialogue, so you just get lots of like squeals and shrieks and stuff. It's a real treat. I do agree with you though. That wedgie's pretty good. This is an interesting glitch that happens sometimes with these runs, where the Voodoo Lady just disappears. Oh, and by the way, I guess I didn't really call this out. We've warped ourselves into the Voodoo Lady. We've done some voodoo shenanigans, and we're actually kind of possessing the Voodoo Lady here. But we've taught ourselves in 12 easy steps how to speak the language of the manatee. Sorry. But it's that easy. So we know how to do it now, but of course we need to find this tongue of the manatee to be able to actually speak the language itself. So we're doing another dive. We're going to head back into the manatee again. This is actually kind of a cool puzzle because this teaches you exactly how you do the ending of this game here. So this sort of says, hey, yeah, the seahorse heads here, manatees love them. You know, and that'll come into play a bit later. Yeah, we're back in here. And as you're probably seeing, we do need to find this tongue here. It's down in the bile, but we can't reach it. We do need the some bongo playing to raise the levels here. This fish is doing a good job getting it done here. Noogie's not down here anymore, so we gotta do what we can with what we got.
By the way, new tech just from today, you don't have to use the horn on the manatee if you have it. You can just left click him.
Oh, for real? Oh my goodness. Well, this is a first here. Cannot get the laxative to work. And yes, we're carrying some manatee laxative. You know, something you need to keep in your rucksack every day, I say. Never know when you'll need it. So we are heading out to the manatee once again, and we're going to get right into it here. I'm going to use this little handy trick that Archie just mentioned. I was talking about how this RNG thing works a little bit with the faces and things. So this echoes that same thing where we need to go through 3 correct answers with the manatee that's inside of the cave here, and if we get them correct, sorry, just focusing on exactly the right answers here. If you get all these answers right, they're always the same, but as soon as you goof something up, it totally shuffles them around, so you need to be very, very careful that you get the right answer as you're doing the speed run, because again, you're kind of out in the lurch there.
It's also very reminiscent of insult sword fighting, in that Guybrush has learned only from 12 easy steps manatee, so he doesn't have a full vocabulary. He can only speak in cliche phrases from the phrasebook. So we have to kind of use the correct ones for the correct prompt to be witty. So when the big manatee is like, I will paint the sea with your blood, then we go to emergencies and we choose, is that blood or ketchup? Things like that.
Yeah, some of these back and forths are pretty good, and that's actually a great connection there between the sword fighting bit, because it is fairly similar to that. We just have all the answers ahead of time. It's kind of just a matter of finding the right match for it. There are a few with 2 different answers as well. So this is even more so similar to the Carla fight in Monkey Island 1, where there's a couple doubles in there. Archie, you're killing it right now. I just peeked over to the stream, and I'm sure this is on a delay, but boy, you are having a good run, my friend. All right, we're back up on the boat again. And we've got the sponge.
It's very fair to acknowledge you've already had multiple runs in this event and been volunteering, so...
It's all good. Yeah, this is... I think you're due for a good time here from the look of it. It's awesome. Yeah, so we're back on the boat. As you can see, we are caged up. We've done maybe one too many mean things there. We do have the sponge, which is great, but we are trapped in these things here. So we're going to have Morgan help us out. Cut us out of the cage here. The big chop. And we need to get the sponge back from these folks here. We're going to get into some, what seems to be sea combat here, but as always, the Monkey Island games are always a little interesting when it comes to combat, right? So rubber tree mast always comes in handy, a nice little reference to all the rubber trees in the other games. You actually can't fight Dakava's ship with a cannon because they've taken it a whole nother step, and this is a rubber tree boat. The whole boat is made out of rubber tree, so everything just bounces off of it. The thing that it's not prevented against, though, is giant manatees eating it. We know this, obviously, from where we found them in the beginning of the game here. So we use that clue that that I mentioned with the manatee going inside the manatee there. We actually shoot a seahorse head at them, and yeah, they just get eaten up. So we'll see them in maybe another Monkey Island, maybe return to Monkey Island. I do like those characters a lot. I don't know how the other folks in the call feel, but I like a lot of them. I think they're pretty interesting folks.
They do have that very lovable, goofy squad feel to them.
All right.
I believe Woofs is coming up on time soon, I believe.
Yeah, we were basically just there when we see that see you in the next chapter text. That'll be good to go.
Yeah, that's just the swirly clouds.
Time. Yeah, good eye. The swirly clouds. I love the look of this one. I think that just some closing thoughts on this. I think that Tales of Monkey Island is a heavily underrated Monkey Island game. And I highly recommend folks who are like, oh, it's just a Telltale game. Please give it a shot. It is very, very good. It's a lot deeper than you might think it is. And that's my 2 cents. That's the wolf's guarantee there.
It is definitely more escape than Telltale.
For sure. Yeah, it's kind of... I mean, this was kind of built in the time when they were doing Sam and Max and stuff, too. So it feels way more like I would say, traditional adventure game, rather than kind of, you know, your Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us or something, which I also like those games, too. But these ones are kind of have, as you can see from the run, like a lot more classic point-and-click adventure-y stuff. So I think it's worth a shot if you haven't tried it.
Yeah, thank you for the run, and thank you to all the organizers and volunteers. Shout out to Summer, Woofs, Frozen, Spade, everybody else. You've done a great thing here today.
Thanks, Archie. And thanks for racing. GG's, well done on the win.
Well done to our runners. Very nice. And we're just about wrapped up with this shindig. But coming up next, we're going to have a little intermission before the next run. We're going to show off, I think, a little bonus video, a little game called Hooffield. I think that's the one that we got up next. So we're going to throw over to that, and then afterwards we'll come back, and maybe another bonus video in there, but we're going to come back with our final race of the evening, King's Quest Max, come on, speak your words, Mask of Eternity, 80% race between Lemming Runs and Chuck Grody. So go ahead and throw it on over. Thanks for sticking with us.
So the time begins when I hit new game. We want to watch a movie, so we go pick up Crocodile Dundee, head back to the couch. Our friend Amy from downstairs is visiting us because she has an issue with Bernie, our neighbor. So we go see Bernie, who we make games with. We knock on his door. Oh no, he's sick, but he gives us a cauldron. He wants us to make us some soup. We look at the ingredient list. We need a rat tail, and we pick up the fire extinguisher.